once you've logged into the optimizer to build your project. This is the screen that you will see. Just wanted to step through a couple examples of the ribbon, the top ribbon here, and then step through some of the functionality of building your project and adding details to each individual part. First thing that we'll do is give the project a name. We'll call it training example. That'll be good to have a starting point so that you can reference that in the future. The top ribbon here is good to understand. These are your past projects. This cleans out the project template as a whole, so it'll delete all the details. Just be very cognizant that if you click that button, it will erase your entire project. If you hadn't saved to this point, you will need to start over from scratch. The My Project tab or button here allows you to review previously submitted and saved projects to where you can replicate that going forward. The import button is not used at this point in development of the optimizer and WoodAffix, so don't worry about using that. The optimize button here we'll get to in a little bit once we have more details on our project and our cut sizes, edge banding, and orientation of each part if there is a wood grain pattern. We are logged in through WoodAffix. That's just saying what that is, that we're there now. These last two buttons are quite important. One of which explains the 3 different languages that we have at our disposal. You can alternate between English, Portuguese, and Spanish. And then lastly, the little gear right here, you can toggle between empirical inches and metric in the form of millimeters. So if we're currently in millimeters right now, you can see right there, but if we were to toggle to inches, it gives you the length in inches, and then gives you options to go through delineations of 1/16 of an inch through this interface. So in this case, we will be going and using the metric system, as that is a lot easier to manage through this optimizer. But again, you can use the empirical units of fractional inches. Okay, first thing that we're going to do is create a part, and the best thing that you can do, just so that there's clarity on development and assembly of this, is label your part. So we're just going to create a simple shelf cabinet. We have fixed top and bottom, or fixed shelves, adjustable shelves, sides, and stretchers for construction purposes. So in this case, we will start off with a fixed shelf, which is also the top and bottom of this said cabinet. We're going to make 2 different cabinets with 2 fixed shelves each. So we'll create 4. I have a quantity of 4. In this particular example, this is a replication of a previous cabinet we've already made. So the length of this cabinet, or therefore the height of the finished cabinet, but the length of the piece, is going to be 667 millimeters by 355 millimeters. And if for whatever reason you get your width and length transposed, instead of typing that again, you can hit this little arrow here, back and forth arrow, and you can change width to length and length to width. This edge banding represents the details of the edge banding. So we want to edge band the long edge and therefore the upper edge. So we just click on that and you can graphically see that little red representation of edge banding right there. We can go all the way around, or just do the bottom, or just do the right, or do the right and left, or do the upper and lower. It's totally up to you. But in this case, in this example, we're just going to do the upper edge on the length edge. So we'll close that out. You can see it graphically represents it right there. The next step is the adjustable shelves. We're going to make we're going to make 6 adjustable shelves, so 3 per cabinet. And those adjustable shelves will be 665 millimeters long by 355 millimeters wide. And we're going to call that an adjustable shelf. Okay, and then we're going to make sides. Remember, this is 2 cabinets or 2 shelves, so each cabinet needs 2 sides, so we'll create 4 there, 2 each. These are going to be 1580 millimeters by 355 millimeters. We're going to call that the sides. Forgot to put edge banding on the adjustable shelves. We're going to have it on the length edge. The sides are going to have edge banding on the long edge and the top and bottom, or the 2 short edges. Last thing, we are going to create a top and bottom stretcher for the construction of this project. There's 2 each. We're making 2 cabinets, 2 shelves, so there will be 4 total. So 2 times 2. These are going to be 667 inches long, 99 inches tall. We're going to call those stretchers. We're going to edge band those on the long edge only. So one thing to note, once you have all of your project composed, the next step is to optimize. And this graphically represents the optimization of those 2 cabinets. So you can see that this cabinet, these 2 cabinets represent, it's called exploitation, but it's really yield. So it's only a 65.55% yield. You can see this large area here is unused. So one thing we're going to do is click on this Modify Measurements to make some more adjustable shelves. Since we're paying for the 2 panels anyway, we will go ahead and maximize the usable space. So we'll just do that in the form of adjustable shelves in this case. So we're going to go from 6 to 10. Click Optimize again. And that allows us to optimize that much more of our panel, getting a 78% yield. So you can play around with the number of pieces, the sizes of pieces to try to maximize that yield as much as possible. You can also see the cost of the total number of cuts, the cost of edge banding. There's no drilling so far, but we'll get to that later. You can see the cost of the panel cutting and edge banding overall right there. If you need it, if this is a textured product like a wood grain, you click on this and you can see the texture of the product, which helps give grain direction for length and width purposes, but in this case it is a solid color, so length and width does not matter. Okay, so the next step is to save and move on to the drilling detail.